Hello, good morning. In previous class, we completed exercise 4.6. So in determinants topic, only miscellaneous is left. So today I will explain you the questions related to matrices in the miscellaneous exercise. As determinants is not in your syllabus for year 2021. So for determinants, I will prepare a separate video after the exams. So today I will explain you the questions related to matrix and solving the equations. So let me start. The first one question of miscellaneous exercise is one determinant is given and it is said that prove that the determinant is independent of theta. Means we will find the value of this determinant and finally we will show that there is no theta involved in its value. If there is no theta, it means it is independent on theta. So we'll expand it. So we are just expanding it, taking the first row. So x into, you see, it is my x square minus 1 minus sine theta into minus x sine theta minus cos theta. Minus sine theta is minus x sine theta minus cos theta. Actually, it should be minus x into x square minus 1. Third one is cos theta into minus sine theta. Just a minute. There is some error. Actually, it's wrong. Okay, so you can make necessary correction. It will be x into minus x square minus 1. Minus x square minus 1. So either you take negative sign common as it is in this question. So it is x into minus x square minus 1. So that will be minus x cube minus x. This is plus x sine square theta plus sine theta cos theta. This is minus sine theta cos theta plus x cos square theta. So this term is considered by this term. We will have x sine square theta and x cos square theta. So you can take x as common from this. So you will have it is minus x cube minus x and sine square theta plus cos square theta is 1 plus x. So both will cancel out each other. You get the answer in the form of x. This is minus x cube, which is independent on x. So in this way, we can say this value of this determinant is independent on x. Now, next question belongs to determinants. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth is also from determinants. Now we come to the question number 8. Question number 8, it is given A, one matrix is given, verified that adjoint of A whole inverse is equal to adjoint of A inverse. Second part is A inverse whole inverse is equal to A. So nothing special is there. We know how to calculate adjoint of A. So to solve first one part, what will be our working steps? First of all, we will find adjoint of A and then we will calculate inverse of that. Inverse of that means adjoint of A will consider it as a one matrix, like we can represent it by B, and then we'll find the B inverse. In right hand side, what you have to do? First you will find A inverse and then you will take the adjoint of that, means you represent A inverse by something, C. So you have to find adjoint of C. In this way we will do this one particular question. I will explain you the steps. Calculation part you already know how to do it. In second one question, first of all you will find A inverse and we will say it as B, and then we'll find the inverse of that again. That will become B inverse and we'll prove that B inverse will be equal to A. So first you see the first one question, first part. So its determinant will calculate determinant of A. It comes out to be minus 13. You can calculate it, which is non-zero. It means A inverse is possible. So first to find adjoint of A, what we'll do, we'll replace all the elements by their cofactors, and then we will take the transpose. So adjoint is actually transpose of a matrix obtained by replacing element by their cofactors. We got adjoint of A. You divide adjoint of A by determinant of A to get the A inverse. So in this way we have the A inverse. Now we have to find adjoint of A inverse also. Adjoint of A inverse. So how will you calculate adjoint of A inverse? First of all, we will calculate determinant of adjoint of A. Determinant of adjoint of A. Or you can say, I will take this as a matrix B. B equal to adjoint of A. So adjoint of A inverse, it means B inverse you will find. Alright. So first of all, you get the value of determinant of this adjoint of A, that can also be represented as B only. So you find the value of determinant of this adjoint of A, it comes out to be 169. Calculate this. Now we'll find adjoint of this whole matrix again. Adjoint of this adjoint of A we'll find. Adjoint of A. So in adjoint of A, we replace all the elements by their cofactors, and then we will take the transpose of that. So by replacing all the elements by their cofactors, we have taken the transpose of this. This will be the adjoint of A. If we to get the adjoint of A whole inverse, we'll divide this by the determinant of adjoint of A, and whatever you will have, that will be equal to adjoint of A whole inverse. Secondly, A inverse we will calculate. A inverse will be the adjoint of A divided by determinant of A. So you got A inverse. Then you have to calculate adjoint of A inverse. So you consider this as one matrix, find its adjoint. How will you find its adjoint? You will calculate cofactor of all the elements. Replace each element by its cofactor, and then take the transpose of that. That will be adjoint of A inverse. So you see this matrix and this matrix are equal. This is what you have to prove, that adjoint of A whole inverse is equal to adjoint of A inverse. Second part is, you have to take A inverse, then again its inverse, and you have to prove it is equal to A. So first we have already obtained A inverse. Now you consider this as a one matrix. You have to find its inverse. So what will be its inverse? That will be adjoint of A inverse divided by determinant of A inverse. A inverse whole inverse will be A inverse whole inverse. What will be this? This is the adjoint of A inverse divided by determinant of A inverse. So first of all, we will find a adjoint of A inverse. So all the elements will be replaced by their cofactors, and then we will take the transpose of this. So we got adjoint of A inverse. You divide this by, calculate the value of determinant of A inverse. Determinant of A inverse, you calculate its value. It comes out to be this much. So A inverse whole inverse will be equal to adjoint of A inverse is determined by the determinant of A inverse, and finally you get it is equal to A only. Lot of calculation is there, so you can slow down the video and note all these things. Calculation part is there, basic nothing is there. Suppose you want to get the A inverse whole inverse, so first calculate A inverse, and again use the same process to find its double inverse. Similarly, we want to get the adjoint of A whole inverse, so you consider adjoint of A as one of the matrix and follow the same steps to find its inverse. So in this way we can do this question. 9th belongs to matrix determinant, 10th determinant, 11 determinant, 12 determinant, 13 is also determinant, 14 is also from determinant, 15 is also from determinant, and the 16th question is from matrix, solving the system of equations in 3 variables. So this question is also similar to your exercise 4.6. Only difference is in this, in place of numerator, x, y, z are given in denominator. So it is 2 upon x plus 3 upon y plus 10 upon z is 4. 4 upon x minus 6 upon y plus 5 upon z is 1. 6 upon x plus 9 upon y plus 20 upon z is equal to 2. In this, it is solved by taking 1 upon x is taken as p, 1 upon y is taken as q, and 1 upon z is taken as r. If we replace them, this question becomes similar to our earlier questions. You replace 1 by x by p, so it will be 2p, it will be 3q plus 10r. 4p minus 6q plus 5r equal to 1 will be the second equation. 6p plus 9q minus 20r is equal to 2 is the third equation. Now again, now we'll define A. A is the matrix of the coefficient of PQR now. Now X will be a column matrix of PQR because in this we have taken them as PQR. So it is column matrix of PQR. B is same, matrix of the coefficients of constant coefficients. Only difference in this we have taken X as PQR. One more thing I tell you, need not to assume them as PQR. Okay, you directly take this X as, in place of P you take 1 by X, in place of Q you take 1 by Y, in place of R you take 1 by Z. Then also you can do it directly without substituting anything. So that method also you can try. But as I have taken in this PQR in this PDF, so I am explaining on the basis of that only. So remaining process is same. First step is find the determinant of A. As it is equal to 1200, so you can say it is not equal to 0, means system is consistent. We have to find the values. A is non-singular, so A inverse exists. Now you will get the A inverse. So to get A inverse, we'll find adjoint of A. Adjoint of A means all the elements are replaced by their cofactors and then take the transpose of that. You divide adjoint of A by determinant of A. You will get A inverse. Now we know that X is equal to A inverse into B. So X is in this case is PQR column matrix. A inverse we just obtained and B is matrix we have already defined. Take the product of these two. Keep this 1 upon 1200 outside. On solving it comes out to be 1 upon 1200, 600, 400, 240. So you take this 1200 inside, it is 1 by 2, 1 by 3 and 1 by 5. So P is 1 by 2. On equating these two, Q is 1 by 3 and R is equal to 1 by 5. Fine. As we know that X is reciprocal, P is 1 upon X. So P is 1 by 2, so X will be 2. Q is 1 by 3, so Y is 3. And R is 1 by 5, so Z equal to 5. These are the 3 answers of this question. So the only difference between this and previous questions is in exercise 6, in all the questions X, Y, Z are given. In this 1 upon X, 1 upon Y, 1 upon Z is given. So that is the only difference. So we can do these questions also by the same method. Come to the question number 18. Choose the correct answer. A, if one matrix is given, if X, Y, Z are non-zero real number, then the inverse of matrix A. So nothing special is there in this question. You have to find the inverse of this matrix and you have to choose the correct option. So to get the inverse, first of all, we will calculate the determinant of A. So determinant of A of this will be the X, Y, Z. That is not equal to 0, so we can say A inverse exists. So to calculate inverse, you will find the cofactor of all the elements. Here cofactor of all the elements are obtained. So adjoint of A will be transpose of the cofactor matrix. This is our adjoint of A. You divide adjoint of A by determinant of A to get the A inverse. So it comes out to be 1 upon XYZ and this XYZ, 1 upon XYZ you can take inside. So it will be YZ upon XYZ, XZ upon XYZ and XY upon XYZ. So it will be 1 upon X will be at this place, 1 upon Y at this place and 1 upon Z is at this place. It is written as X inverse, Y inverse and Z inverse. So this would be the answer. x inverse 0 0 0 y inverse 0 0 0 z inverse. Question number 19. Choose the correct answer. 1a matrix is given where theta is 0 is less than equal to theta is less than equal to 2 pi. Then you have to find the value of determinant of a. Determinant. So just calculate the value of determinant of a. So to expand it with respect to first row, so 1 into 1 plus sine square theta minus sine theta into minus sine theta plus sine theta, that is 0, plus 1 into it is sine theta plus 1. Oh sorry, sine square theta plus 1. So this is 1 plus sine square theta, this term is 0 and this is sine square theta plus 1. So overall we will have 2 plus 2 sine square theta. 2 you can take common, it is 1 plus sine square theta. As 0 is given, less than theta is less than equal to 2 pi, we know that value of sine is always lie between, value of sine always lie between, value of sine lie always, it lie between minus 1 and plus 1. This is wrong. In this reason, minus 1 is less than equal to, sine theta is less than equal to plus 1. Alright, so this is by mistake, it is written wrong. But the value of sine square theta will be always between 0 and 1. You can take any value of sine. The value of sine lie between minus 1 and plus 1. This is an important question. Note it down. Sine theta lie between minus 1 and plus 1. But in this expression, we have sine square theta. We will find the value of this. So sine square theta always lie between 0 and 1. This is correct. Because you take any value between minus 1 and plus 1, its square will lie between 0 and 1. So sine square theta lie between 0 and 1. But we have 1 plus sine square theta over here. So you add 1 throughout. Add in this 1, in this also 1, in this also 1. So you will have 1 is less than equal to 1 plus sine square theta is less than equal to 2. In all these three you add 1. Now you multiply this throughout by 2. Why to multiply? Because we have to find the value of this. 2 into 1 plus sine square theta. So first of all, what we did? We obtained one condition that sine square theta lie between 0 and 1. Okay? Because sine theta always lie between minus 1 and plus 1. So sine square theta lie between 0 and 1. So we'll write 0 is less than, sine square theta is less than 1. Actually, value of determinant is this much. So we'll try to find out what will be value of this thing. As we know that sine square is less than equal to 1, we will try to obtain this whole expression using this. So what to do first of all? Over here it is given 1 plus sine square theta. So add 1 throughout. So this 0 plus 1 is 1. Is less than equal to, it will be 1 plus sine square theta. Is less than equal to, add 1 in this, it will become 2. So 1 plus sine square theta lie between 1 and 2. But what do you have to find? You have to find 2 into 1 plus sine square theta. So you multiply this throughout by 2. So 2 will be less than equal to 2 into 1 plus sine square theta would be less than equal to 4. I have multiplied this by 4. So the value of 2 into 1 plus sine square theta will lie between 2 and 4. So the value of determinant of A belongs to 2 to 4. That would be the answer. This is an important question. Take care of this. So in this way, now we are able to complete whole exercise chapter 4. Okay, all the questions related to syllabus of 2021 exam is completed from NCERT. So you can try it out. Determinants I will post separately. Thank you.